This is the woodshed. I thought I saw somebody's face in the window. That I bought. And I'm trying to take all the firewood out of that, put that in that, put that over there, take all the firewood out, put it over here, sell the rest. Use the money for PVC pipe, lift it up, put it on pipes, push it back 10 feet, turn it into a storage shed. I have to go back through all my shit till I find. I don't have the money to do it, but I'll idle the car so that I can charge my phone. No place to put you. That might work. Maybe I'll do some life path reading. If he turned 33 this year, (2026) minus 30, 90, 2000, 2010, 2023. 2003 would be 10. 2013 he would be 20. 2023 he would be 30. So he was born in 93. 1 plus 9 is 10, plus 9 is 19, plus 3 is 21, plus 4 is 25, plus 8. He's a 33 life path, born on the 22nd, and he's a Leo. I'm a 33 life path, born on the 11th, who's a Sagittarius. Can you see why God is really, or the devil's really trying to get in the mix there? For both master number 33. He's supposed to change the world with me, I guess. No, sorry, he's not a 33 life path. Because 93, this is 193, she's Aquarius. Nobody fucking asked. No, he's not, because he's actually not 8, it's 7, so he's not a 33. Whoops. Because it's July 22nd. Which I think means he's the attractive traveler that lives in sexual energy and the constant change. And being a Cancer Leo cusp, it means that his care for people, and it's a really bad batch for power games. It's all about power games and hoarding the energy inside. I can see why an addiction would be part of it, because his whole purpose, how it feels his purpose is, would be to hold it all inside, convert it, and then try to raise himself above everybody else. No, Demon Hunter, I want to do this guy's life path. 7/22/93. If this is his 33rd birthday. 11. Because 7 and 4 is 11. 12, 21, 30, 33. That doesn't make any sense. Hold on. 7 plus 4 is 11. 4 plus 1 is 12. 12 plus 9 is 21. 21 plus 9 is 30. Yeah, I got it wrong the first time, and he is a 33 life path. He is a 33 life path born in the 22nd. And I'm a 33 life path born in the 11th. He's a Leo 22. I'm an Ophiuchus / Ophiuchus is like Sagittarius and Scorpio. Born on the 11th. He's a water rooster. I'm an earth cat, so we definitely don't mix well. Roosters and cats are enemy signs. I can see why he wound up as a boxer. I can see why he wound up as a recovering addict that found God. And you can see why I drive myself into the mud and then freak out at all the spiritual warfare, trying to fight it off to extend my influence. He gets his influence from the empire that he builds, and he has 6 kids. I get my influence by creating this spiritual vision that becomes bigger than life itself, and then it teaches everybody else all my ancient wisdom. He builds something to embody his ancient wisdom. But we're both divine children. But he has to build something, and I'm constantly being the visionary. So it's kind of cool that he's butting heads with me, because he doesn't realize that I'm trying to look out and get the camper, then fix his Airbnb problem, then get this, and then get this. And then he's trying to go to work, do this. I'm reaching further out. I'm looking further ahead. He's stressed out about money and the day-to-day stuff. I don't care about the day-to-day stuff because I'm really focused on the future. Like, it didn't even occur to me that they would be lying about the money, because I was just doing an honest job, because in the future I'm gonna have to buy a camper and set up the studio and do all this. I don't care about the day-to-day stuff. His name means little king. Ryan means little king. And my name means ancient tree that traveled from Africa to Ireland, where it became brave. It meant an incorruptible tree of life, then it meant omnipresent, and then it meant impervious to fear, and takes righteous action without fear. It means brave, like that Disney movie about the woman and the person that turns into a bear. If he ignores me for another 2 days, I'm going to send him that. I'm going to send him a big wall of text that says, according to the people who invented the date that your birthday is, they believed, and so does the rest of the world, the people that run the country, the people that run the world believe this stuff, the richest people on earth believe this stuff, that energy changes as we go. And that means that there's a potential and a blueprint for your existence on earth based on the energies of the day you were born. So what they believe is that as a master number 22, you're here to build a massive empire. George Washington was a 22. FouseyTube is a 22. You build this huge thing based off hard work and consistency. As a 33 life path, you're the divine child master teacher, the oldest soul possible. And you have this horrible, challenging life with the highest responsibility. It's the easiest one to lose. To show the world the ancient wisdom as a divine child, like Jesus. Why he died at 33. As a Cancer Leo cusp, it's all about this one point that this one central focus point, especially as the Rooster Daymaster. He identifies more with the Cancer because the water rooster, because he has the emotional sense. But Cancers and Leos really have to figure out the difference between caring about people for who they really are and the essence of themselves caring. Because Cancers see people as an extension of themselves, and Leos feel like they have to shine light onto the people. So as a cusp, he would generally feel like he has to bless people, and he would feel the pain that they're going through. Where that balancing mix, it's a really bright star, but unhealed, it becomes the biggest black hole. Which country is this stream? America. I'm in Vermont, which is like the second smallest population state. I bet we're going to find out that the client is like a Capricorn or a Scorpio or a Gemini or one of those shitty signs. He brags about playing people or being a thug. He's not playing people. Thinking he's manipulating people, he's subconsciously showing his good traits, and people see that light and they feel for the guy, but he thinks he's playing them. It's not the playing them that it gets, it's the subcommunication of the divine child. But where mine is about rejuvenation and constantly reviving into something bigger than myself, his is more of a stagnant, stuck there, so it's easier for people to comprehend. Where with me, you have to see it over a long period of time. You hate me at first, and then as I continue going, then you learn from me. It's right there. So they get it instantly, which is why they attach to him, even if he does them wrong. Like, even me, with everything he did, I'm still trying to help the guy. And I'm from a place of complete lack, knowing that he was doing that stuff, but I could see the light there. And I don't think he knows that until I guess I'm the master teacher too, and I'm the visionary. I guess Sagittarius is the shaman. Scorpio, Sag, and Ophiuchus are the teachers. I guess I'm supposed to show him this and it'll resonate. I don't want to take him to court, dude. I just want the money for the hours I worked. And I wanted to keep going. Now I completely believe it's spiritual warfare. Because we're 233 life paths. The way that I get hit with shit, the way he gets hit with shit is much more potent, but it's simpler. Mine is like really existentially overwhelming, like the entirety of humanity is hitting me if I don't do the perfect thing. His is a much simpler expression of that. It's a day-to-day stress. I'm burdened by my day-to-day stress, but I don't really care. They're just inconveniences because I have a much bigger picture. He doesn't see the bigger picture. But he feels a need to build an empire. When you fail as the 33 life path, and he hasn't failed yet, this is his 33rd year. There's a chance you revert to a 6, and you just live a life as like a simple father, and you care for the community and make it feel better. But ideally, he's supposed to be that in town government, state government, and then politics. But as the Leo, I would say it would be more of a YouTube channel thing. I guarantee you he watches Will Survives. Just based off his astrology alone, I know he watches Will Survives. I was his blessing. I'm up here on the mountain. I was the blessing for the guy. Like how Harry Potter has to go to King's Cross Station to meet Brian Dumbledore. Or you go to King's Cross Station to 9 3/4 if Aries is 1, Taurus is 2, Gemini is 3, Sagittarius is 9. 9 3/4, that's just at the end of Jupiter, Sagittarius, or Zeus, or Jesus. You have to get through past Sagittarius to get to Hogwarts, which is Brian Dumbledore is a Sag, and Hagrid is a Sag. Because J.K. Rowling did that shit for real. She knows about this shit for real. It's a literal magic school. Dumbledore and Hagrid are both archetypes of the same thing. O'Brien is Irish. Yeah, it's the most Irish name. It's the only Irish king that defeated the Vikings. When Connor was king, who was the guy that I just talked to about this at the gas station, Connor. When Connor was king, the Vikings weren't there yet. He had to unite the tribes. When Brian was king, the Vikings were invading all the time, and he defeated them all and died in battle. When Niall was king, before Brian, he brought the Vikings there. He was half Viking, half Irish. Brian Boru had to undo what Niall did to the country. And Connor founded the country, which is why I was going to name my son Connor before he died, before he was born. I wanted to name my son Connor. And I wanted to name my other son Donnie. And now the two people at the gas station that I tried to get with me to go to this job site was Connor and Donnie. Yeah, he may have messed his life up bad by doing you dirty unless he repents. If he really talks to God, he may repent. You said the client made the Garfield movie? Yeah, she was like in film production, and I asked if I knew any movies she'd worked on, but her whole career was in film production in Hollywood. So when I asked her if there's any movies I might know about, she said the Garfield movies. But sitting on right next to her TV was a vinyl for 2001: A Space Odyssey. How you doing? Politics in a Wrote hit. I think that's Lord of the Rings, right? I'm alright. I found out my boss and I are both 33 life paths. I'm born in the 11th, he's born in the 22nd. I'm a Sag, he's a Leo. That's like the most powerful pairing possible on the planet for two people to work together. And I think I just have to keep, what I do is I just keep going. I just keep rampaging. I'm just going to keep texting him. I'm going to keep trying to help him. I don't care what he says to me. I'm going to keep trying to help this guy. I don't give a fuck all the bitching and complaining and accusing me of lying. I'm just going to keep going. He's going to freak out because he's possessed by demons or whatever's going on in his life that made him break his ribs, get a cold, and then get COVID in 1 week. Whatever he's going through to have that happen to him in his simulation. I'm going to keep powering through it. I got him he said he was struggling with a severe addiction that he's healing from. I don't know how long ago that was, but he said it was pretty bad. I bought him these omega-3s for his brain to heal. Because I had a severe brain injury that made me like this. He keeps accusing me of lying about my hours, and I'm not lying about my hours. Is this my receipt? Hold up. No, that's for August 6th. That was today. I don't know what happened to that receipt, but I have the empty pack. I know I bought 3. It is what it is. It's just $25, dude. We'll figure it out. Unless he's an active addiction again, I don't see why he's stiffing me $400 when I'm trying to help him. When 2023, I was offered to have my own contract company driving a box truck down Route 7 in Burlington, delivering appliances to Lowe's, and that 200 grand counts for whatever I would, out of that 200 grand a year, I would be paying an employee to help me. So maybe 145 a year, and then I pay somebody 65 grand or whatever's fair, I don't know. But I sat at the top of the hill in Colchester, overlooking the McDonald's at the very top by that water tower, and I said, God, I really want to pursue music in my dreams. I don't want to just throw myself into this job. I'm young, I could do it now. And then a big bird went right to left, so I decided to pursue music, and I went. And then 3 months later, they stole my car out of Walmart, and then I lived in a tent by the sailing center, and people would piss on the tent, drunk, the rich kids, and I would eat the scraps that the rich kids would leave, and I got food poisoning, eating from the garbage can, because I'd find sometimes Chinese food in there, and Chinese food was my favorite, so I would eat Chinese food sometimes out of the dumpster, and I'd get really sick. I had a bunch of ticks, and I was living in a swamp, and people would come attack me, and then I would run into kids that were suffering, homeless, and I would try to help them, and it wouldn't work, and then they'd get hooked on crack, and then I'd lose them. One kid got raped and dumped out of a window, and then another friend, schemy, slimy, smelly Ethan, supposedly was just in the area somehow and saw him laying on the ground, and they put him in a wheelchair, somehow that was magically there, and they carried him all the way up this massive hill. And that kid, Phoenix, used to tell me about how he loved Irish giants as a kid, and what Ethan told me was that two extremely tall white people were just in the area and helped them carry Phoenix onto the thing and carry him up that massive hill to UVM. So I was like, if Phoenix was dying while he was barely alive, he watched as two Irish giants pushed him up this big hill. Isn't that pretty cool? And his name's Phoenix, and he was basically killed and had to revive. But then he started to say he was stealing my energy, and he started to post things that I used to say, like when I was 17, every time I would take a shit, I would take a selfie of my face in the bathroom on the toilet, and I would send it to everyone in the group chat and said, I'm fucking shitting right now. He sent me a picture of him wearing my shirt. He stole my shirt, and he was in Florida on the toilet, and he sent me, I'm fucking shitting right now. And I was 23 when I met him. He has no idea I used to do that. But he said he was stealing my energy. And he suddenly starts saying the things that I used to say. And he sends it to me like the thing is, the demon's bragging. And then even though he was straight, all he talked about was getting girls. Like 2 weeks later, he started sending nudes of his ass to another one of our guy friends, and we all stopped talking to him. He started sending nudes of his ass, bro. So we stopped talking to him. Eventually, I think he came back, but I was done. I had so many people I cared about, and then they just kept doing me wrong until I had to let them go, and half of them died, the other half developed a crack addiction, and now I don't know where any of them are. I think they're all homeless. Kool-Aid, he's been talking to me, but he still thinks I'm lying about the hours, or he's trying to get out of paying me. But he's a 33 life path born in the 22nd. I'm a 33 life path born in the 11th, which means he's the master builder and I'm the master visionary, the connection between all dimensions, and he's the one to implement and build the knowledge in this realm. And he's a Leo Cancer cusp, and I am an Ophiuchus Sag Scorpio cusp. So I deal with constant revival from the worst parts of the human condition to the top of the human condition. And he's a stagnant sun, where I'm a constantly forming of a star and then spreading out through the cosmos. He's just a sun right there. And he thinks he's a thug that's playing people. No, he's not. But he's a water rooster, which is the fighter, the emotional fighter, which is kind of what he does. He's always fighting people emotionally. But that translated, and he became a world champion, or not a world, like a state champion boxer or something 4 times. My problem is I'm so overwhelmed by possibility and lack the resources. I don't know what to do because I only think in the big picture. I operate in the grand scheme of things, and I struggle with the day to day. He's really good at the day to day. I don't know. I mean, I think his goal, if he really broke his ribs and he really got sick, I guess that sucks, but I don't know what happened. He just disappeared for 2 weeks, and now he doesn't want to pay me, and he doesn't believe my hours, but you can go look at the house. I don't know why the client is lying about the hours. I kept track of the hours. I don't understand why he thinks I would be lying to him when he offered to fix my car for free. And if I lied about these hours, it would jeopardize the couple grand I'd probably make afterwards when he came back, helping him sand the house and paint the house and helping him build that deck. To lie about $400 would be missing out on potentially 2 to 3 grand. Why would I lie to him about the hours? So directly in front of me, it looks like a bird flying right to left. I'm gonna show you. He may be tweaking. He may be tweaking. To me, that looks like a bird flying right to left, and it's directly in front of me. See the steering wheel? The clouds opened. If you think lying about the hours, but the client said you've got at least 19, it sounds like you should at least get your 19 hours of pay before he tries to not give you that either. Has he answered me? No. He's been off work for like 6 hours. I don't know how many hours. I don't know how long he works. I'm assuming it's like 6 a.m. because he gets up at 6 for this job. I assume he gets up at 6 for that job. And he usually leaves at 4, so I'm assuming he leaves at 4 at his other job. So that's 4.5 hours. I know for a fact if I go talk to the client, she's not even going to answer the door. I'm going to have to say, you lied about my hours, and when I told you my hours, you said that's not what he told me. And I said, you were there. You were here with me when I did it. I recorded my hours correctly. She's a nut job. She yelled at me that she was busy when I asked her about what it was like working in Hollywood. She said, I'm busy. And then she walked away, and then I saw her reading her book with this really weird smile on her face that I only see narcissists get when they feel like they're holding power over somebody else. I've seen that smile a lot. I know what a prideful smile is. Cops have it all the time when they're bothering black people. It's that smug thing. So I'm saying at least try to get your 19 before he gets too annoyed and doesn't want to give you that as well. Jump on at least what you can get, brother. gonna have to call a lawyer. Because I'll have to take it to small claims court, say the theft of wages, show my hours, show the timestamps of me going. Because I think I recorded every day of me going. Every morning I said day whatever of working my blue collar job. And then you sue for damages. They said sue for triple damages, and I looked it up, and it's like the standard thing is that when you get to the end of it and you show the proof of everything and you show the avoidance and you show the lies, you ask for triple damages, and in Vermont the judge usually grants it. So as punishment for what he did, not only does he have to pay you, he has to pay the filing fee that you did, he has to pay any lawyer fees that you have, and he has to pay 3 times the amount owed. And that's not my intention. I didn't even know that existed until last night. If you installed Life 360 on your phone, we'll track everywhere you go by the timestamp, so you could use that in the future. Which shows exactly how long your phone was there. That's pretty smart. Life 360. I'll probably forget, but I'll eventually remember. My only other option now is a farm that pays $15 an hour. Long days, hard work, but they let you stay there and they help you get your CDL. Or a dairy farm that's long hours, hard work, steam and freezing cold, constantly over and over and over again. And but they say they pay really well if you do a really good job. So they said they might even, if I pick it up quickly, they'll increase my pay accordingly, according to the work I do, which is pretty cool. It's the opposite of what the other guy's saying, which is that you have no experience. But I'm like, but the job that I do is the same as you, at least. It's almost perfect. I don't want to use the triangle sander yet, because his triangle sander is kind of, the rubber bends and it's not fully stuck together, but I have super glue if he wants it. I bought super glue. I was just waiting to talk to him about it. And then I can go get the corners. And then after the corners, it's perfect. It's perfect. There's no imperfections at all once I get the triangle sander. So that's worth $100 an hour job, according to contractors around in Google. It ranges from, people said it ranges from 100 to 180 if you're the licensed contractor, and as an employee it ranges from 35 to 100 an hour, depending on the scale of the job and the dangers of the job. Like if you're on a really high up lift, I guess they give you more, but that's just because most of Vermont is really wealthy. I don't know what it would be out of here, but they said it ranges from 100 to 180 as the licensed contractor, and it ranges from 35 to 100 as an employee, and I'm getting paid 20. And he says because I have no experience, I should be worth 15. But you look at my work, you can go back to they owe me $1,000 confronting them, and you can see my work. It's immaculate. I did a really good job. I just don't know how to paint, so it would take me 1 day to learn how to paint, and then I would do a perfect job. He claimed Life 360. I used Life 360 on a speeding ticket once. Cop said I was speeding. I showed the app tracking my route record and my max speed. The judge looked at it and knew it and threw it out. He claimed I was going like 55. My app showed me sitting on the side of the road, stopped by him with a recorded max speed of 41. I've had a cop pull me over for a dirty plate that had just been cleaned by a cop an hour prior. And then I had the judge threw out a lot of charges in Morristown. They threw out all the charges eventually because it would not look good for the cops to add the body cam footage to discovery. So he did a motion to dismiss and it worked. So the judge let me off because they would have gotten in a lot of trouble for excessive force and stalking and harassment. Over the course of 4 months, I had a 106, at the end of it I had a 106-degree fever, and I passed out barely alive outside of in -60 wind chill behind the homeless program, not the shelter, the program. And they didn't help. They locked the door and waited until they thought I was dead, and then they called the cops to remove my body. And then I took my hunt. They told them, that's recorded. You can hear them saying I'm not welcome in town because I was homeless and nobody would hire me. I couldn't find work anywhere. And they told me they feed the pigs really well out there if I wanted to stick around. So I took 100 pounds on my Tractor Supply garden wagon and I hauled it 11 miles through a foot of snow to Johnson. And I survived a month out there trying to find work until the select board told the police to drive me to Berlin, Vermont and just dump me. And then when I got there, they didn't have any rooms available for the motel program, so the police did pay out of pocket, but it was a different station. You never deserve to be treated like that. Nobody does. Except pedophiles. My portable battery's at 17%. My phone is at 25%. I'll go for like 10 more minutes and then it's 9. I want to find my computer, grab my charger. Then I want to clean out all my trash in the car. And then I want to go down to the gym and I want to walk on the treadmill for a long time. Because I didn't eat anything today, so it means that it's not healthy for you, but you can just walk the fat off. If you're in a fasted state, every mile you walk is 100 calories. So if you walk 35 miles, that's a pound of fat. So if you want to lose 5 pounds, start fasting and walking 10 miles a day. That's 40 laps around the track. So when I had the brain injury, I would walk up to the track in psychosis, spiritual psychosis, like, what's real? What's going on? Just get there. I would literally, like, this is how my mind worked. I would go, just go, just get there, just get there, just get there, just get up the hill, 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 just keep going, just keep going, just keep going, just keep going. And then eventually, after 4 years of just keep going, just keep going, just keep going, I lost the language of it. I had devolved. So then it was just a silent, okay, 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 okay. And that's how I got through most of the past 4 years, is just every day, okay, 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 okay. And eventually I would get there. But back then in 2020, when I had the brain injury and my girlfriend was giving up on me and cheating on me all the time and coming back just out of obligation and because she kind of loved me, I guess. But I just couldn't find her anything but disgusting, even though I loved her, because I knew she was lying to my face. I hate when people lie to my face. I don't understand how they could do that. It's probably the worst thing you can do, other than rape. Like, if somebody's honest about shit and he's mad about something, but he's wrong and he breaks all my stuff, I care less about that than somebody enjoying the fact that they're lying to my face. Probably from abandonment issues with my mom saying that she was going to visit and never did. When I was locked in a room when I was a child, peering out the doorway to the window outside through the plexiglass, through the corner, looking for her car for hours, and she never showed up because she didn't feel like it that day. That's probably where it comes from. Why betrayal hurts so much. I would get to the track and I would just count the laps. So I wouldn't even think, I couldn't really think, and I couldn't really listen to music. I was just trapped in the, just keep going, just keep going, just keep going, just keep going. 1, just keep going, just keep going, just keep going. 2. And I would just walk between 13 and 15 miles a day without stopping. I would just keep going. 4 laps is a mile, do 40 laps, and then I go until the freaking out stops. And then I get too tired to freak out, so then I walk home. And all I ate, I would go fry ginger in peanut butter and different sauces. And then I would put some like Walmart frozen vegetables on top of that. And then I would just eat that. I would eat fried ginger root and a bunch of Walmart vegetables for like texture. And then I would watch clips of Aiden Ross. And then I would watch Foster eBay talk about astrology. And then by the end of the night, I would have my psychosis freak out where I raise my vibration so high that I break free from the matrix, and then my cat would start freaking out, and then it would start like yelling at the window, and then I would see a black demonic figure crawl through the window, crawl on the ground towards me, and then attach to me, and then I get really cold, and then I would pass out, and then I wouldn't really become conscious again until halfway through the next day, walking again. I was like, at the end of it, I was skin and bones, but I was chubby when I started. And I went for like a month straight, just walking 10 miles a day and learning astrology. So when my girlfriend would come back, she'd be like, it's like you're going to college. And then when she would fall asleep, I'd go through her phone and see all the guys that she was sexting and which ones were her diary and which ones she was flirting with sometimes. And then I'd go to sleep. And then I'd wake up with sleep paralysis, freezing cold, and I couldn't move. And then I was half conscious, whatever, I was like convulsing. And I would kind of come to seeing my girlfriend crying and being like, I don't know what to do. So then when I realized what was happening, I would fight through it, and then I would hug her and say, just have a good day at work, please. And then she would leave, and I wouldn't see her for like 3 days. So I would sit there in sleep paralysis, awake for sometimes 12 hours, and then I would have to force myself back into my body, force myself to the bathroom, force myself to brush my teeth, because I wanted to be good enough. I wanted to be good enough for her to stop cheating on me. So I had to brush my teeth, and then I had to do push-ups, and then I had to clean 1 foot of space a day, because some old man that lived below me, Kit, who would run out of his... He collects ephemera, which is like magazine clippings and old advertisements and all this stuff. So he has like 40 years worth of ephemera labeled for... He's pretty autistic for like each day and each week and each month of the past 20 years of just like magazine covers and advertisements and shit like that. And then he would run out and like question people about life like he was interviewing them. So then I sat with him one day and we argued about life. He was always trying to like tell me I'm wrong about shit and that he was right. And I said, if you were right, you wouldn't live like this, without saying that. And then everybody was watching me. 2 people that the town had written off. Nobody talked to me and nobody talked to him. Crazy Kit Barry and Crazy Casey. And then we got to pickup artistry, and he was like, you're a fucking pickup artist? I was like, I used to be when I was 15. And he was like going off about how that's sleazy, whatever. I was like, no, it's actually more like autistic people developing a social science to integrate them into society where they would be ostracized and left to be alone for the rest of their life. It gives them tools and a method to use their gifted mind to accurately learn how to be people. And pickup artistry is, in essence, without the sleazy manipulative sex addiction, it is just a social science to go practice skills in a way that autistic people can understand. And then that next year I took a Greyhound bus to Miami to live with pickup artists, and they said I was the best out of the 200 people that were there. They said I was killing it, I was the best. And I taught them how to do what I learned because I picked up pickup artistry when I was 13. Bruh. Because I wanted to be good enough for Megan. But I wasn't 6 foot tall. She said, I wish I could find somebody like somewhere in between you and Jacob. And Jacob was an autistic Christian, but he was also really funny, but he was 6'5". So she wanted somebody right in between me and Jacob. And I hope she found it. Once I got hot, they all came back, but I said no to them when I was 18. And now I regret saying no to them because I just wanted to be like, oh, I'm better. Look at me now. Back then they didn't want me, now look, they all on me. But now I regret that. I wish that I had just pursued that. But then I wouldn't be here. Spirits. Alright. Spirits and is keeping you protected even though you suffer the most. I don't know what that means, man. I guess. Not really, though, because of the crows and the... But I guess maybe they're funneling the chaos into a lesson. So it still sucks, but it's like they're trying to get me to learn something. Because it's very specific attacks constantly. Maybe it's just building my endurance so I don't get complacent. Because life is battle until you die. I'm seeing the client's angry face barking at me right now. Through the ego system, I just saw the client's face like looking up at me because she's devolved into a lower frequency and now she's very angry and barking at me. My first day, right before I went to my first day of work, I saw him yelling at me in the driveway. So I knew what he was going to look like, but I didn't know how old he was. I thought he was like in his 40s. I thought it had something to do with my hair. That he was mad about my hair. But I knew that I saw him yelling at me in the driveway. So I'm assuming it's gonna end with him yelling at me in the driveway. When I show up to be like, can I get the money? Look at my work. Do you want these Diablos? And he's just gonna yell at me. But I guess now he won't swing at me and try to fight me because he knows I'll be on the internet. And I didn't want this. I wanted to build something legendary. And he's got the right astrology for that. Oh, my fault. I'll read it in a second. We're gonna go put all my stuff into it, all my trash into a trash bag, and chuck it in the car and try to find my computer. And I'm gonna show you guys the gazebo. Maybe I didn't have all messages on. Yep, I always forget. My fault. I wonder if you would still be treated this way if you had a job and a house, or if it's just because of your position now. I mean, for the most part, when I had a place to live, I was a lot more attractive, and I was dating beautiful, funny, high value women, and people were threatening to kill me. They were driving by my house. They were drunk in the parking lot screaming at the girls, wondering why they're not good enough, not knowing that I'm a vegetable in their suffering. They would message me and say they thought they were in competition with me all throughout high school. And I said, I don't even know you, dude. They thought we were competing for a girl named Raven. And I remembered Raven, and she was ugly, dude. She was very, very skinny, very ugly, not very smart, not very funny. In my opinion, just not somebody I would pursue. And this guy was convinced, because she liked me, I guess, that he was always in competition with me, fighting for that girl. He thought that I was involved with her, and I don't think I'd spoken to her since 4th grade. I was pursuing much higher quality women, in my opinion. Just for my own personal stuff, my own personal preference. But I built this. The roof is on the gazebo. I don't have the top part, but I have the walls. So I was going to try to get the dimensions and then just buy one large mosquito net and put it over the top. But eventually I want to lift this up a little bit. I don't know what to do for the foundations, because I don't want to do something that's hard to get rid of. But I do know the people that gave me the deck boards also have the concrete posts in the ground, and they also are trying to go with a different thing than concrete posts in a deck. They're trying to put pavers down. So I was going to ask them if they would, if I could help them remove those concrete posts, and then I would put them in the ground here to lift this off the ground, and just put it in like some type of plastic tubing or something before it's in the ground, so that it's easy to remove. But I do want this to be level and lifted up so that you can walk on it. I think I want it to be like, I built these stairs specifically for the gazebo. Months ago. Ugh, fuck. So I wanted it at least this high lifted off the ground. So I wanted to use cinder blocks and put wooden posts into the cinder blocks. Dig down like 2 cinder blocks worth, and then fill one side with dirt, the inner side, and then on the outer side put a wooden post, and then cut the wooden post to the size of the cinder block, and then drill into that wooden post in the cinder block. So it would be 2 cinder blocks high, 2 cinder blocks down, wooden posts in between them, sealed off so that the wood is not affected by like moisture, and then build the deck on top of that, and then just have like supports in the middle. And then I have framing. They're old, and they're, you know, they've been out for 2 months, but I'll show you the deck that I built. It would look pretty much like this. Somebody did break this. It would look like this. So just the frame, and then the wooden boards across it. It did have connecting posts, but when I moved it, it dragged on the ground and got caught and then ripped off. So I put it under this to keep it level. And I'm not like running on it or dancing on it or anything. I'm just sitting on it in the chair so it doesn't fall over. But I have all this to work with. And then I have all this lattice, nice, like lots of lattice. I have a lot of deck boards. I have a couple posts, like this one. And I have this one here, and this one, this block. I have this post. And then I have tons of deck boards to build the gazebo and a little shack. So I wanted to eventually remove this camper because it's an eyesore, and then replace it with a little shack that just has a twin mattress in it and a little table. So the plan was to build it, and if they don't like it, they can get rid of it, but they can't not acknowledge that I did something great for the place. So, trash bags. And I got those solar lights, which are pretty cool. These need rechargeable batteries to work. But eventually I was going to buy rechargeable batteries, so that at night the gazebo is lit up. Solar lights right on the roof there. Solar lights go around it. And then lights here around it. And then this is elevated. And then over here, somewhere on the other side over there, would be a little shack that just has like a twin mattress in it, a little porch on the front, and log siding. Just 4-post log siding, rustic looking. So you go in there and you can sit and sleep for the night, meet God, meet the aliens, realize that life is bullshit, go back into it with this new understanding of everything. But instead, they send me this letter that says your rights to possess the land are gone on the 14th. And I was like, I don't want to possess the land. I don't even want to be here either. You could have just called me and I would have told you that. You fucking cowards. You guys are fucking cowards, and my name means brave, and I'm going to figure out how to, even though I fucked that up, I'm going to figure out how to fix it. It's one of those where you push it in, see, and then it locks into place. And because it rained, I pushed it in and it slipped all the way into the middle part and then opened, so I can't push it down. So it's stuck like that. unless I break it somehow, or break the top open, cut the top open and then push it down. But I figured I'd rather just try to figure it out. Eventually I'll be putting something over it. So if they're saying you don't possess the land, but they're not mentioning the camper, I guess technically the camper could be mine, but it's been here for 40 years. I don't even know if the tires work. The tires are all flat. Are they flat? No, they're not. I could try to get a truck up here and just take it to somewhere else. If they don't want the camper here anyway. That would solve their problems. Camper's got leaks in the roof. I don't know how long it's been here or if it's even able to be here. Like if it's even able to be towed. But if we go slow and go at night, potentially we could try, but I don't have a truck. Yeah, they said it's been here for a long time. I don't know how long a long time is. Feels like my dad's old RV, and that was 2000s, I think. You can get a set of trailer tires for it on Marketplace for probably $100 and hit your RAV4 for $100 and send it. I don't think it will. The car's rated for 1,000 pounds. Anything more would really fuck the car up, they said. And in Vermont, it's all hills, and I'd have to take it down the hill. So I would have to try to back it down the hill, and if I lose control of it, my car and the RV are fucked. I have to take it down a mountainside. But it's not off the table. I could always pay somebody with a truck $200 to haul it 20 miles and dump it on somebody else's land that I don't own. I guess I could try to sell it on Marketplace with no title, but the roof leaks. I could make maybe $500 from that. If I fix the roof and I fix all the mold in it and I test it out in a thunderstorm, so I know the camper's good, I can say there's nothing wrong with it, but it's very old. I wouldn't risk taking it on adventures, but it's a place to live. And then charge it for 1,000. And then I'd get a steal pretty quickly. I was hoping to get the money to pay you for your RV, and then there's a farm that needs help that said I could stay there. So I was going to take the camper down to that farm and then have a home base. So then I could start live streaming every day, get Starlink, get the clothes, and then move on with my life. And I would live closer to the gym, so I'd go to the gym every night. But he's kind of put a damper on that. I was hoping that because his Airbnb cost is extensive and he has a couple weeks here of work left, instead of paying an Airbnb $1,000 or $2,000, pay me what I'm owed and then pay $2,000, front me it, knowing that I'm not a bad dude, and then you can stay in the camper, and then I work to pay you off that $2,000. So I essentially work for free. And every time I'm done working, it's just minus what I owe you. You stay in the camper with your broken ribs instead of sleeping in a tent in a state park. And eventually I get the camper and you get paid, and your money doesn't go towards an Airbnb. You get your money back. So you're sleeping somewhere for free, but it's not a tent on the ground in a state park. It's on a camper. Making my Toyota RAV4 2011, maybe. I think it's 2011. Yeah, that's fucked up, but it's fine. Tomorrow I'm gonna put the mosquito nets on it, maybe. Butterfly left to right. V6, yeah. Dude, it already rusted. Look at how quick these things rust. I bought that 3 days ago. Demon Hunter sends me $100 a week from her husband's job because they were paying that money to a church and they weren't happy with the church. So they tithe to my mission. So I could potentially, if you're looking for money, I could just send you $100 a week for the camper. If it is as good as you say it is. $100 a week ain't bad. Yeah, I was right. I just looked up the V6 model. It's 3,500. I was told the rating for this is 1,000 pounds. And I don't know where all the car information is. Here's one of my tickets. Yeah, it's a 2011 RAV4. And then I open the find the sticker on the outside to get the dry weight, or see if you get a yellow sticker where that might tell you also. Isn't it like on the side of the door or something? These are the tires. Seating capacity, combined weight of occupants and cargo should never exceed 825 pounds. Load carrying capacity. Modifications of the vehicle have reduced the original load carrying capacity by 11 pounds. It says for inside the car, at least, the combined weight of occupants and cargo should never exceed 825 pounds. I did that before, and then the metal thing that goes under that broke off. It snapped. Maybe it's on the back here. No, wait, nope, that's some number, I don't know. I don't see anything off the top here. I have the other package for the 60 grit that he says I didn't buy. Could be a different one, I don't know. But he usually kept his in his truck. Oh, usually on the outside of the RV in the back corner, something somewhere with the actual dry weight specifications. On the RV, would it be whatever peeled off this? Cold influx, rims, tires, and then I can't see what's here. Connection is for the voltage. The reason that they're kicking me out is because I didn't fix this, they said. The reason that the Knights of Columbus didn't help me with my dreams in life is because I didn't fix this. But I did. I put nails in it, and I was saving up for the right tools. But they kept saying I had to do it because they had to get under this to lift it up. So I did my best. I put nails in it because I didn't have any money at the time. So I had a hammer, so I just bought nails. Because that's what I could afford. I'm not seeing anything else around the RV. There's a warning here. The gas piping system is designed all pilot lights appliances. Yeah, and then that's for potable water only, and there's nothing else. There's the awning, but that's different. I think it peeled off, but these people are older. I'm sure that somewhere in the camper there's the, whatever you call it, the instructions and the manual and stuff in there. Apparently they don't have the top wall, the roof for this, but they have all the walls. So I have them at least. My trash bags are back. And you want to see something crazy? They brought my other trash bags back. My trash bags have been returned to me. They stole my trash bags and they've returned my trash bags. I would leave them right here. To test if they were stealing my trash bags, I would leave it right here. And they would go missing. And then I posted on YouTube that I knew they were stealing my trash bags. And then this was there today. They returned them. Whoever they were. Now I can't sit in my nice gazebo. It won't stop me from trying. Yeah, these are all fucked. It's all fucked, dude. You can try to bend it back. It looks like somebody grabbed it and just ripped it down. This one looks like they bent it over their knee, because I had to bend it over my knee, and it was exactly in the middle. But I wasn't here, but they said it didn't rain, so there's no real reason for this to happen. Pretty, it exemplifies living in a Saturn year pretty well. That anything that will be crushed anything that can be crushed will be crushed. Ow. Okay. Getting closer. It's like the Victoria is only rated for 2,000 pounds. If you look at the Receptor version, they've rated at 5,000, same vehicle. The problem is if I'm wrong, and I can, if I can at least barely, if I struggle to get it down that hill, and I can't bring it back up, they're getting rid of the camper indefinitely. So if I fuck up and the camper gets stuck, it's gone. What is this one? I have to put you back so I can see. Yeah, there's no way, unless somebody, because I have to bend everything back as if somebody grabbed it from the middle, and the water, there's no way the water can pool up on the middle. Somebody walked in and pulled it down from the very middle to break as many bars at once. Snow could do this. Water can't do this. Not with the way that I cut it on all sides so that it... And it didn't rain. That's the thing. I keep trying to gaslight myself saying I'm wrong. They're not like that. They wouldn't do that. It didn't rain. Unless a rock hit it in the dead center, they pulled on the center. Yerd. Yeah, this shit is not going back up. And why would this bar break? Why would this break directly in half? Like it was snapped over someone's knee. It just fell. It's like somebody jumped on the roof. No, because even if a squirrel ran across it, it wouldn't do this. Or like if a bird tried to land on it, it wouldn't break all this. Like that's completely broken in half. Directly in half. Right down the middle right here. Like, can you see? Look. This is bent directly in half, like they snapped it over their knee. Or they pulled on it directly, like they walked through and grabbed the middle and pulled on it, broke it, and then walked in and grabbed the roof and pulled down on the roof. That's the only way, because these other bars on this side are not, the bars on that side are not broken. So it's like something fell on it, but nothing was there. It didn't rain. Yeah, all these bars are broken. But I can take that center post and eventually I can drill that. I have a 12-foot tall board somewhere. I could put that cross inside this. That's what I'm gonna do. Unless I have something else. It's good enough for me. shit. Oh shit. Okay. Somebody came up and smashed my gazebo, and they smashed my cross. So now what's left of my cross and gazebo are now being used to hold each other up. My broken faith and my broken kingdom are now symbiotic. And somehow I'm gonna have to figure out how to drill that shit together tomorrow. But if it falls, it's not heavy enough to break anything. Hope. Well, I have a drill and screws. Might as well try. Let's get 4 screws. Take this. Take the drill. I really like how the grass grows in between the cobble pavers. So that's eventually gonna go through here and then go back to the car and then branch off over to the gazebo out there that you can't see. Fuck off, bug. Fuck off, bug. Quit bugging me. You can kind of see that. First, let's get it upright. I don't want that shit to hit me in the eye, dude. No, these are all off the ground like that. It's gotta go back. No, I can't see. Okay. Okay. It's better than nothing. Can't see. I hit my fucking thumb with this shit. Kill yourself. Alright. I think it's the wrong drill bit, but it does fit. I don't expect it to hold well, but we'll see what happens. Just one screw on the floor. Just in pity, it's not my fault though. Yeah, if 30 subs sent $100, I could get a camper and get out of here, but we've tried GoFundMe's when I was in a much worse situation. I'm about to be in that situation again because of the owner's daughters, of all people. It's not the owner, it's the fucking Knights of Columbus and his daughters. The 90-year-old owner did not come up here and smash all my shit on a sunny day while I was at work, because I left a note saying I was at work. And then peel the cross off the door and put a business card to call the civil division to receive my court papers saying I have 3 months and then I lose my rights to possess the land. It was the people who want to steal the land from that 90-year-old man whose dreams was building a monastery, sanctuary for Christians. And if you've been following me long enough, you know that's literally my exact dream in life. So we found each other and people ruined it. I don't think it's happenstance that they destroy. The only things they smash are my nice gazebo and the cross that I built. Because they come here and see a throne in a castle, so they smash it. I built a nice arbor before too, and they smashed that. Frame was perfect, the wood's not rotted, it's nice. It was all put together right. I showed the Knights of Columbus my work. They said, that's really cool. He said, yeah, I saw that. And then the next day, I come back and it's broken in pieces. And my trash bags are stolen. And then I post on the internet that they're stealing my trash bags, and all my trash bags have been returned to me. When they figured out that if they just take my trash bag, it's not going to create a mountain of trash they can take a picture of and tell the owner. It's just going to create a mountain of trash in my car. They were looking for things to show the owner that I am a piece of shit. So I shit in the middle of the field, and I left my turd there for them. Gave them what they want. They came up here they come up here looking for a piece of shit, so I took a shit in the middle. So they came up looking for a piece of shit and found a turd. And I think that that's really funny, and that's a story I'm going to tell my kids one day. That these evil people that wanted to steal land from a 90-year-old man were trying to make me a piece of crap. So they had already done enough to make him not answer my calls anymore after they lied to him after they tried to attack me in the shed, trying to bait me into reacting so that I could do something in front of everyone that they could use against me, and I didn't. They just lied to him and told him anyway what they were looking for, even though I didn't do it. So he stopped answering me after that day. The lottery's up to 855 million. Somebody in Vermont won the lottery this year. But a bird on my left side just went off. Should Demon Hunter play the lottery? Should Demon Hunter play the lottery? We're trying to get a ridiculous amount of money to buy a big plot of land and build something that people can come to heal them and help them, get them into a gym and a music studio and run a ranch. And I would designate people on my left side. I just hiccuped and I saw a beam of light on my left side saying no. And now the bird on my right side is going off. When I asked, is that a message? And you can hear it. Or you could hear it. When I keep raising my vibration at church, it chirps. And only when I'm speaking, so it could be a territory thing. There is something out there. It might be a bat. But I definitely did see a beam of light, and it made me hiccup. Oh, the fireflies are here now. And they're going left to right. Maybe the sound of my voice is disturbing the bat, so it has to echolocate to figure out where it is because of me moving around. And that's why it's only chirping when I speak. Yeah, patience is what they tell me all the time when I'm freaking out and I'm trying to get something. When I was sanding the house and I was like, they're progressively treating me worse and I'm not saying anything and I'm doing a good job and they're progressively treating me worse. I'm like, what's going to happen? What's going on? Are they being possessed? What's happening? And then they said, he'll lose his race. And then what? And then at the end of the day, he invited me to a demolition derby. And then he broke his ribs before he could even get to the race. I didn't know. And then when I was working alone, I was kind of mad. I was mad that she has access to Hollywood, but every time I try to talk to her, and it's not like all the time, it was like once every 2 days, I would be sitting on break, my lunch, and then she would come out and I would try to talk to her and she'd say, I'm busy, and then she'd go read a book. I was really mad about that. For him, I was like, maybe he broke his ribs, that really sucks. But I didn't expect him not to pay me. But when he didn't answer me, that made me think there's something happening there, because he ignored me. When I sent him my hours, he ignored me. The first time I sent him my hours, he ignored me. He shouldn't be gallivanting like I'm doing something wrong here. He ignored me the first time I sent him my hours. So I thought maybe I'm stressing him out and he's going to get angrier and angrier every time I tell him that he owes me money because I worked another day by myself, even though he's getting paid $40 an hour for every hour I work for free and he's not even there. So I didn't send him my hours and I put it in my Google Docs, and I had already let him know that I record my hours. But he just continuously ignored me until I reached out to his girlfriend. And then he said he would reach out to me, and then he didn't for 2 days. Then I reached back out to him and he ignored me for a day or two, I think. But I would talk to the client and she said she was talking to him every single day. So then I just reached out to his wife after I think a week and a half now. And I said, hey, is his plan to just leave me in the dust? I don't care if you're playing the owner by working your full-time job and saying that you're sick, profiting off my hours, and you don't have to work, so you can work a full-time job and make $40 an hour for free. I don't care, but don't play me. Let me know what's going on so I know I'm being paid. And then he tried to get both of us. So he got all that money for free. And now he's telling me I'm a liar. And then I pressured him about it for a little bit. And then he said, fine, I'll pay you 19 hours. Come on, man. Why would I jeopardize a free wheel hub replacement and free transmission filter replacement and a once over on the car? Why would I risk the $2 to $4 grand I would make helping you paint it for $400? Why would I risk access to somebody who knows how to talk to white people? I don't know how to talk to white people. It makes them hate me. Something about me makes white people despise me. Why would I risk somebody that could get me into that space to communicate with the whites? I don't know how to say, sup, bud? Doing good? You fishing? Lit. Instead I go, what's up, man? And he goes, ugh. I'm like, okay, have a good day. I don't know their culture. I'm not from here. Why would I risk somebody who does? I'm an ancient king trying to lead an army to victory, to save themselves. Why would I jeopardize somebody who seemed to do me who said he was going to do me a lot of kindness? Why would I fuck that person over? But he fucked me over. And I'm Much better, I think, personally, because I know myself. I was assuming that he was like that. I know myself. I'm somebody who goes to the ends of the earth to help people who don't deserve it. These people broke all my stuff, and I still bought them a metal gazebo to build it for them. Because I have faith that if you just keep going, eventually it gets better. Are you still asking me about the lottery? I got a literal left to right angel that shocked my brain and it made me hiccup, saying, no, don't play the lottery. Should Heather play the lottery? A bunch of things fell on my left side. I get it though. I really get it. Because I saw a scratch ticket in the trash and it was right to left. So I was like, fuck. And then I went and bought one scratch ticket, but then my mind was like, no, do two more. The one that I bought, I got my $5 back. And then the two I bought when I felt like I shouldn't, but I kept going, I lost both of those. I'll tell you to play the lottery if you promise me that it's not going to affect the tithe, and you also will invest in helping me with the clothes. Or how about like say, okay, I will play the lottery, but I also have to do all these things, like clean the upper floor, scrub the walls, clean the carpet, make it perfect and immaculate, and then sit in it and feel really good at, like, have all the problems shed off you. And then you'll change your frequency state from stress and confusion to peace. And then once you see that and you have the actual peace, not something you're making up, you're letting it go, then you will literally see yourself being called to the gas station to go buy the lottery ticket. And then you follow that and you hold it and you get there and then you keep the faith. You do that, but it's still against the Bible. God never really seems to work in money. He seems to work in generosity, kindness, and bringing people together. Like I begged for the lottery. I begged for $1 million. I begged for $100,000. I begged for 100 acres, or the money to buy my own 100 acres. It didn't work out, but then I got kicked around New England until I gave up and tried to shoot myself on the other side of the road. And then on the other side of the next morning, I got out of the hospital and I'm invited up to this place. So I got 100 acres, but it wasn't being given 100 acres. It was either the best way that it could make it happen in my life, or there's a meaning and message behind it. Nope, that's not him. I won't play the lottery. Well, do you see that UFO up there? Did you see the UFO right to left, blinking in and out, right above the clouds? I wouldn't spend a ridiculous amount, but who cares? We're all gonna die. If you want to play the lottery, you feel like it would make you happy to play the lottery. When I'm about to get blessed, it feels like there's this crushing weight of potential that something big is going to happen. And I just hold the intention that it's going to be good. And then I get crushed by life. And then I'm usually brought somewhere else. For you, it might be different. You got to like really look into the themes and the motifs and the narrative itself of your life. And you have to audit it and change the narrative of your life with humility. So the UFO just shot a beam of light into my third eye and opened it for a second, and I felt a flash, and now everything is a different temperature. And I saw like an alien cat's face. It looked like a cat-like alien that I see when I'm high sometimes. When I was 16, and they explained to me that my girlfriend was going to cheat on me, or when I was 19. And then it felt like they stole all my energy and sucked it up into space. And they said that it's going to come back. But something about time and that I'm a time traveler is what they were explaining to me one time when I got high after my suicide attempt. and I was at my friend's house, and then I realized that half of my thoughts were actually the faces of cat aliens, and then they told me to go in the bathroom and look in the mirror, and then they started talking to me, and I could see them wrapped around my face, and they explained to me that they'd been communicating with me, and most of my thoughts that I thought were me were actually them. And then I don't know, they have this sort of like, it almost feels malicious. It's just not, it's fierce. I would say that it's fierce. Like, you didn't even think that she's lying to you? You didn't even stop to think that she's lying to you? She's cheating on you right now. Text her. She won't answer. It was more like malicious like that, but it was telling me truths. I looked on her phone and found out she was cheating like 2 days later. I don't know what to tell you, Demon Hunter. Just get a gym. Just buy a squat rack and fix the garage up. Buy a squat rack and start squatting. Start deadlifting. And then have the panic attacks when the blood reaches your brain. Jump into a cold shower and then freak out. You're allowed to freak out. Have somebody you trust to talk to and just vent as you process it back in and then get the normalcy again. That's what I'm trying to do. I freak out. I'm scared to wake up. I've seen too much. I lull myself to sleep so I can process the fact that a UFO just communicated to me. When I'm fully awake, I can actually communicate back to it in my mind instead of just getting hit with a DM, and then there's so much junk in my brain I can't respond, and I can't form the thought, and I can't process the whole thing. It's the only way I made it through the journey. But you're never going to win the lottery until you deserve it. Do you think you deserve it? Or do you think that you haven't changed enough so that all that money would just corrupt you? Because money just enhances who you already are. That wealthy Hollywood lady, she's a fucking, what's it called? Neurotic. She's neurotic and she egos me like people in Hollywood do on live streams. When I watch live streamers and they say, I just got egoed. She egos people. All her money didn't make her a good person. She lives alone. She has nobody. I think that as you start to do good, you start to get good. Should Demon Hunter play the lottery? Will Demon Hunter win the lottery if she plays? So this mosquito just showed up left to right. Flew directly at my head, left to right. All the crickets on my right side are going off. You hear this? A whole symphony of crickets on my right. Nothing on my left. And they all started up at once. Why not? Hear it? They all just started. If you do, great. If you don't, it's the same thing as, biblically, they would see it the same way as cutting yourself or shooting up heroin. Biblically, gambling is the same as shooting up heroin and cutting yourself. And then I immediately reach for my vape and I hear the voice say, you're no different. And that's true. I vape, which is it's essentially cutting myself. You feel like I'm not meant to win the lottery? Well, you're a pretty mixed bag of shit, of like a lot of crazy shit sometimes. I don't know. Every time I think I know the universe, it attacks me. And I go, why are you cruel? And I don't understand. Every time I think I know what's going on, I meet a new alien. But I know that I fed a bunch of ants, and every day I had an ant colony crawl across my bed when I was extremely depressed and laying there hoping to shoot myself. I would feed an ant colony in there, and I was like, I couldn't move. The crows would make me feel like I can't think. I'm fighting off demonic creatures that are like growing into my consciousness and trying to operate me and control me. And this is what's left after those things. I end up like this, where I can't really focus. I'm not myself, and I'm just venting. And I look back and listen to myself. I'm like, that's not even me. I hate this. But at my worst, I was feeding a bunch of ants. I just saw a literal angel. Did you see it? Or a gray alien or something just phased into reality. The same thing that peeks his head from behind the trees and waves. It just peeked its head from behind the camper, and now all the energy around me is getting really cold and anxious. I don't know what that was, but I see it. It's been sticking its head out from behind things and waving at me for a very long time. And it's right where the crickets aren't, if you notice. But I was talking about the ants in the camper, and that I would feed the ants. And then on the side of the road, the first day that he ignored me, the first day that he started ignoring me, and I got stuff. God gave me stuff for his kids. God gave me stuff for his, even though he won't pay me and he's ignoring me. And they told me the angels or whatever told me, put that shit back. He does not deserve it. Put that shit back. They were really mad about it. They were really mad that I was taking it for him. They kept saying, put that shit back, even though it was free on the side of the road. But I was like, he could build it with his kids. The first thing he told me, he sent me to the store, and there was we were having trouble figuring out like what to buy. And he told me that God told him that everything's going to work out. God was telling me that he was going to end the thing screaming at me in the driveway. God told me that he was going to lose his race before I even knew that he raced, because of how he treated me. And it felt like spiritually abusive, and he didn't realize what was going on because he was trapped in his own shit. And I'm like the most, people on mushrooms tell me that I'm an angel, or they tell me that I'm the most, my dead foster brother told me once on mushrooms, he looked up at me and said, you are the highest form of empath possible. And then I went into my room, and then I played his music for him. And then I took my love for who he used to be before he ruined his brain with psychedelics, and I created the vibe, because if he's going to be an energy stealer, he would just sit there and steal all my energy all the time. And I would be empty, and he would like that. And he would hold the power over me. But I loved him as my younger brother, and he saw me as a couch to sleep on and a studio to use. So even though I knew if he was going to take everything that I created for himself, I used my love to create who he used to be. And then he stole it from me, and then he thought that he remembered who he was, and he ran around freestyling when he was just withdrawing from drugs on my couch. It was like the 17-year-old version of him again. So I felt kind of the same way that he kind of pulls power to himself. And it felt like kind of torture the first few days. I couldn't really think. I couldn't communicate great, because I sort of had been beaten down like a dog, and I kind of just was like, okay, I just get through this. I didn't want to trigger him like I used to trigger my parents when I would hold the high vibrational energy, because every time I do, the owner would come out and start freaking out, and he would start freaking out. So I just kind of was like, whatever happens. Are they going to get punished? And then something came down from his energy. It was attached to him on his back when he was above me on the lift, and it came down and hit my head and said he's going to lose his race. And I was like, what does that mean? Okay. I thought that meant in life. And then at the end of the day, he invited me to a demolition derby on August 2nd. And I was like, so that's why I told him good luck. The last time I called him on the phone, I just kept saying, good luck, hoping that it all works out for the best. And then earlier today, I was asking about what's going to happen, like if it's going to work out for me, and if I was good for standing up for myself. And then a giant tree on I asked for right to left, for yes, and left to right for no, and a massive fucking tree fell. I've had that happen before where I see like a 10-foot tall shadow alien in the woods and it knocks a massive tree over that barely misses me. And then I go up to see what happened and there's a tarp lying there. And then I didn't have service on my phone. I didn't know we were getting a flash flood. And then that night there was a flash flood and I was going to lose everything I owned. But luckily that tree had fallen and I had a tarp. So I laid the tarp over the tree, and you can find that YouTube short. You can also find YouTube shorts of me calling lightning with my mind. And I was just too after getting all those tick bites and living out in the woods for months. I was so connected to, and the reptilian that introduced me to that insect parasite that was crawling into bodies and people thought it was a skinwalker. After that thing like hugged my leg and the antennas wrapped around my leg in the dream when I woke up, and then I saw it literally outside communicating to me through my dream. And the reptilian in the robe showed me that thing. I kept seeing that thing, and that thing was cutting me off from humanity. After that, I became so connected to everything but humanity that my thoughts were stimulating the lightning the way the trees stimulate the rain. So I was able to, reach up and communicate with the lightning, and then it would strike like really close to me and knock trees down. So I had to learn to shut that part of my brain off. Just some forest dweller semantics. Now you're chirping when I end the narrative. And then it looks like there's a giant angel in the sky, but you can't see that. I think either Demon Hunter or I accidentally blocked Matthias, and I told him he doesn't have to send me money to message me. The DMs are open now, and on the Venmo from the money he had sent me prior, he can just hit the comment button and reach out to me. I can't find his YouTube channel to unblock him, and I think he accidentally got muted because I read what he said. He sent me a lot. In one of those messages, he said, "Are you even getting my messages?" And I haven't been, so I think he accidentally got muted in the war against the trolls. So I'm trying to get him unmuted, but he can tell you, and that is a literal angel in the sky. Like there's wings and a head and a cookie cutter angel shape, but its arms are going up, so it almost looks like a cross or something with like arms raised, or like a hug. Looks kind of like a hug, but the clouds open to form this obvious shape in the sky. And Matthias can tell you that I asked for a bunch of birds right to left, and then we saw a massive bird form in the clouds, and there was the only cloud, and it was starting where the view is, and then it ended right above my head. You think he's gonna pay me for my hours? I think he's mad at God because he lost his race and then got COVID, or he's lying. It's either he's lying or she's lying. And I don't know why. What can I do? Should I keep messaging him? How about, should I go to small claims court? Radio silence. But there was a tick where they all got energized, but there's no obvious change. I did just see like a slash of light over there. That was right to left. With quantum mechanics, when something is observed, it changes. So in order to keep this experience for us and guide us along the experience, they are around us observing us. Which is why Christians used to be so like when they talk about judgment of others and casting judgment, it's about changing their quantum state through observation and will. That doesn't look like stars. Oh, big flash of light. I asked, are you going to help? Something told me to say the words, are you going to help me? And then a cricket went on my right side. But that came from whatever's behind that camper over there. That shows itself sometimes. Like sectoids from X-Men, or from XCOM. The sectoids from XCOM. Or the Greys. That mind control people from behind walls. And then I used to sit at the top of a homeless shelter for kids in my own apartment, and I would play XCOM, and I would make the characters of the kids and my old friends, and I would lead them to defeat the aliens before they could get an avatar. He's going to pay you for the 19 hours. What's his reason for not paying you already? I didn't send him my Cash App. He asked for my Cash App to pay me 19 hours, and I said, I'm not lying to you. And then I sat here for 6 hours trying to prove to him that I'm not lying to him, and he hasn't responded. I went and called the place that got me the pads. I showed him the pads. There's a missing, unaccounted for receipt for the pads, and I don't have the receipt either. They can't find the receipt, and I don't have the receipt, but I have the 3 pads, and I know I used them. It took 2 people 1 day to go through 50 pads. That's 25 a day. I have gone through 2 pads, I'm talking about the containers for the pads. The 50 count, it takes us 2 days to go through 50, 25 each for a day, and that was working between 8 and 12 hour days. No, because I think we had to use the spares. So for 8 hours, it took, one person goes through half a 50 pack. So 4 days, I used 2 packs. It's not hard to unpack. And I have 42 left over here. He's convinced that I'm out to get him. And it looks to me like he's out to get me. He's not paying me. I don't know why they're both lying. But I know what I worked, and you guys know what I worked. Can Demon Hunter vouch that every day I went live, or I went on, I think I would go live after work too. And I'd talk about how many hours I worked. But before work, I don't know, I haven't gone back to check if I missed a day. And sometimes I got the number of the days wrong, but the dates are right. Because I was going through shit. So I have to go back and check. Is it 10:13? I'm waiting until like 10:30. So then I'm going to head to the gym. Demon Hunter says she can vouch for those hours. I don't think Demon Hunter is doing the math. But Demon Hunter watches me every day. She can tell you that I recorded, I think, every day. It was $800 worth at least. I wasn't live the whole time. I don't think you were really recording were you, every time I went live, you were writing down the amount of hours I worked? Because I would say 40 hours, because it's close to 40 hours, because he owed me 60, and I paid for materials, so that is around 800. But it was between 30 and 40 hours. I have it written down. It might end up being like 29.5 hours. And she says that I worked 19 hours, so it looks like she might be missing a 10-hour day where she didn't record it, or she forgot, or something. But I definitely worked those hours. Let me try to go back through my memories. I did the bottom level of the porch. And then I made a playlist called Angsty Gur, which has 3 Days Grace and Sleeping with Sirens on it, and Avenged Sevenfold, because I liked the distortion of the guitars would usually match the frequency of the tone of the sander. With the of the distortion, it would match the tone of the sander, so it wasn't a grinding against my ears. So I made that playlist. Then I went in and I did the bottom floor of the porch, the basement. And I think between the top floor of the porch and the bottom floor of the porch, I didn't do the whole thing because I had to go back the next day to go over the right side. And then, or maybe I did the whole bottom all the way wrapping around to the door of the pool room. And then I went back on the ladder the next day. I know the bottom floor took me 2 days. And the porch took me a day. And then I went in and finished the porch. And then I started work on the front. And then I left early at 4 because I kept getting myself angry that she would bark at me all the time. And I would just go, okay, okay, okay. And the things she was barking at was like, she was right behind me talking to the carpenter about extending the pool room out, building the deck over it. So like a 16-foot gable over the front. And they were struggling, they were like yelling. So I stopped sanding and I sat down for a minute because I had already gone I never took any real breaks. And I just kept going, and I was working in when I have to reach up, so it hurt my shoulders. So I was like, let me sit down for a minute and just hang out and listen to how carpenters talk and how contractors talk to clients. So I sat down, and then I got really excited about what it's going to look like. So I said, you're going to extend the pool room? Are you going to put the porch over the pool room? And she went, get back to work. And I was like, oh, sorry, I didn't want to bother you. I didn't want to interrupt your conversation with the sander the whole time. So she's like, okay, well, and then they walked away. So then I went back to work. So between that and then all the times that she just kind of like one time I caught her staring at me wide-eyed through the window next to where I'm working, and she's just standing there not staring at me, but just blankly staring into the woods. And I was like, don't look at her. But then like a minute and a half would go by, or like an entire song would go by, and then I'd go back and look, and she was still standing there, and she looked frozen in place, and she like massive anxiety. And then she fucking bolts into the other room, just like takes off in almost a full sprint, just runs into the other room. I was like, what the fuck is going on there? So between that stuff, and then she was really struggling to pull the weeds out from her garden, and I had just done landscaping for a day where I did that exact thing. So I went over to tell her that when I'm done with work, if she needs help, I can come over there and help her lift that, because I know it's hard. And then she pretty much told me to fuck off, and then she texted him not to talk to her. But she's very even though she's like that, she has a very friendly tone, so I autistically don't understand for a long time. Didn't you work like 7 days straight one of those weeks? Because I remember thinking, man, that's a lot of days without a break. Yeah, it was the 21st, 22nd, 23rd, 24th, 25th, 26th, 27th, 28th. So I think I worked 8 days. And then I started to take a break. And then I went back after I took a break because it was kind of getting on my nerves at that point. And then she said something. I have to go back. It's all in my notes. I have to go back. But I think there was one day, but I don't think it was the 27th. I think it was the 29th because I didn't want to work on an 11 day because usually bad stuff happens on the 11 day. So I think it was the 29th, which is why my last day is the 28th, because I went back on the 30th and she said not to work without him there after that. No, she came out and said that I can't work because she's going to be gone for 2 days. So there was a time where she didn't, and then after that she said to not work. There was 2 days, and I think it was on the 29th because I didn't want to work on the 29th anyway, so I was pretty happy I didn't have to work on the 29th anyway. Where I think I showed up at 6 a.m. or like 6:30. I think I woke up at 6 and got there at 6:30. And she said not to work. She came out yelling, "Don't work. I'm not going to be here for 2 days. You can't be here when I'm not here." And I was like, okay, she doesn't trust me. And I did post that. So that would be the 29th and the 30th. And then the 1st I had my food stamps. So I bought a bunch of sandwiches for everybody and then showed up and he wasn't there and she said he was sick with a cold. And then I think 2 days went by and then she said he had COVID. And then now we're here. So it was from the 20th or 21st. Whenever, I think I might have deleted that video. When I asked my first day, I asked if it was sleazy that he offered to buy me lunch. And then at the end of the day, he took what he paid for my lunch plus $6. And I said, is that sleazy? Or is it my fault for not buying lunch when he offered? Or is it like a rule with contractors I don't understand? Or was it a lesson he's trying to teach me about contractors? Because the next day he did end up giving me that $6 back because he sent me to Home Depot to get a orbital sander and a pack of Diablos, and it ended up being like $94. So he gave me $100. So the $6 ended up getting paid back. So I was like, okay, cool. It all worked out. I'm not trying to stress out about money. It seems like he's always stressed out about money. I was more focused on doing a good job and trying to see if in the future I could get better opportunities, but not better opportunities to be paid on that job site. Maybe if he saw I did a good job and decided I was worth more, but not going behind his back to steal money from the owner. You see how it's become like playground bullshit, where she went to him and said he's trying to get money from behind your back because he asked if you get paid 60 an hour and he makes 20, so is he making $40 an hour when you're not here? I wasn't to be paid more. It was asking why he's not answering me, and I'm trying to clarify if he is making money while I'm not here and he's not messaging me and he's profiting. And the underlying subcommunication of that was, is he getting paid an equal amount to what the car would be worth to fix, so that I don't feel like it's transactional and that, I feel bad. And at the same time, it was in case he has some sort of nefarious intent to blow me off because he didn't respond to me. Could it be that he's playing me? Because he had said the words "you got played" a few times. When his dog was pretending that, and his dog is really cool, when his dog was pretending that it was overheating, and then I asked if I should move him, and he said, "That dog is playing you. He's fine." So then I walk away, and the dog just goes back to its shady spot, and it wasn't hot at all. It was pretending to be stressed out and not doing well, when really it was fine. And to me, I was like, that's kind of, the dog is acting the way that he acts. Maybe the dog was trying to show me somehow that he was playing me, which it turns out I think he was. I don't think he was as stressed about money as he actually is. I think he was just saying that to try to get me to accept a lesser rate that he was always trying to push on me. But he's making close to 20 grand for this job. He's fine. He has a full-time job outside of this job. He's fine. Then he asked if he owed you anything and you said no, and now he really does owe you a whole lot. That was the day after he made you pay for your own lunch. So the second day, which would have been either the day before or his birthday. So I sold him my speaker for his birthday for a good price. Somebody offered me $150 for that speaker. I paid $80. I charged him $100 for that speaker. He was really mad I charged $100 for that speaker. He thinks I'm lying that somebody offered to pay me $150. The speaker was in the back of the car. Some guy said, "Hey, I'd pay you $150 for that speaker." I said, "Okay, maybe I will. Can I find you at the gas station often?" And he said, "Yeah, I'm here." Just ask the person at the gas station. But I wanted the speaker for my music, but then it was too loud and it echoes through the whole town. So he liked the speaker. I think it was on his birthday. It might have been the day before. I think he paid me after that. I don't know with the speaker, but I did sell him a speaker. I don't see how he can sit with that speaker and still be mad at me, man. Unless he's an active addiction, which I don't think he is. Unless he owes a lot of people money. I don't really see why it's such a big deal. I guess I have to take him to small claims court. I don't want to do it. Because he's going to lose his contractor's license and get audited by the IRS. And it's going to be a mechanical lien on the house. So she can't refinance her mortgage. And she can't sell the house until she pays me. So if she doesn't pay me for the rest of her life, that house will never get sold, and whatever heir takes on the lien of that house, and I'll just get a random check for $800 in 20 years when she dies. He didn't expect me to have a YouTube channel. He didn't expect me to be recording every day I worked. He didn't expect me to be a crazy person on the internet. He expected me to be a crazy person in the camper. It probably hit him way out of left field. That's probably the last thing he expected. And there were some mean things I said, but not about him. I said mean things about people in general as it pertains to that situation. Is that a bat? Bruh. It's just unnecessary to put you all through this because he doesn't want to pay what he owes. He doesn't think he owes me. He thinks I'm lying about my hours. I'm lying about a pack of Diablos for $25. He already owed me $60. I thought it was kind of in my head. He paid for lunch for 3 days. He was always stressed out about lunch. He took 20 from me on the first day for lunch when it was only $14. So he associates with lunch being $20 already in his head. He paid for lunch 3 days for me. He took 60 from me. 20 times 3 is 60. He said he owed me 60. His son looked confused. So after a week, I was like, fuck, he probably took that 60 for the lunch. The same way he did on the first day. And he never planned on paying me. I think he decided that day he wasn't going to pay me. And something was going to happen. I knew he was going to lose his race. I didn't know what was going to happen. Because the angels told me he was going to lose his race before I knew that he raced. I felt really strange, and I said, "What's going on? Is it him?" I was see every time they walked away to talk without me, I would see like her face was like this contorted demonic figure, and it was like lunging at me in spirit while I was trying to sand, and I would feel pain, and it was coming from both of them. I would feel pain and like siphoning of the energy, and I said, "Are they gonna get? Is that happening? And are they gonna get punished?" And then something came down from him on the lift and talked in my ear and said he's gonna lose his race. And then he told me at the end of the day that he does demolition derbies. So I knew something bad was gonna happen. So the last time I talked to him, I kept saying, "Good luck, good luck." If he's telling the truth, then he thinks that the owner gave him the correct hours. But the owner told me that when I told her I worked close to 40 hours, he said, "That's not what he told me." And it ends up being like 765, I think. I have it on my Grok. I have all the hours down. I would copy and paste from my notes and put it in Grok. I think it's 765, including what he owed in materials, which adds up to be like 75 plus 60. The math is right. I just don't have it on hand, and I don't want to go to the other app. So when I said close to 40 hours, that's what I meant. Close to 40 hours pay. And she went, "That's not what he told me." And I went, "You were there." And then she paused and looked away and didn't respond to me after that. When I called her out and said, "You were there." So she passed the buck to him and said he told her my hours were different than what I'm saying, but she was literally there. And then I'm hearing from him that she took 10 hours off. And I don't know where that 10 hours off came from. Unless she took 2.5 hours off every day and I worked for 4 days. Or maybe she was sitting there angry at me, and every time I walked to get a vape, she took a half hour off for some reason. So if I went for a vape 4 times a day, that's 2 hours a day for 4 days. That's 8 hours. I mean, she wouldn't strike me as somebody that, or she might strike me as somebody that has a stopwatch going, and every time that she hears me, because she's just sitting there. Every time she sits there and hears me switch the pad over, she hits the stopwatch. So every time I used up like 80 pads. Every time she sees me hit the stopwatch or something, she hits the stopwatch, or she takes $5 off and does a tally mark or something. And then at the end, she counts up the tallies and takes 5 minutes off or something. If she's like that, I could see that taking out 10 hours, but she would still be exaggerating. There was no time where I sat down and didn't work. There were times when I would walk up and chug my orange juice and take a hit of the vape and change the playlist on my phone and then go back, and that would equate to maybe 2.5 minutes max. I think they're like my parents. My parents are people that bottle things up and they don't get it right, and then they forget what they bottled up, and then it bottles up more, and then they're mad at things that don't even exist, and then they take it out on me. Did he pay you for 40 hours for the first week? Yeah, I ended up having like $750, and he owed me 60. And I spent that on the metal gazebo plus gas. That was like 150. I drove far away to get a wagon. That was 35 plus gas. I bought roof pitch for 35 bucks, and that was plus gas. But I think I banged those out in the same trip. And then I bought that metal shed, but that was the week prior. But that's where the money went from that week, was to go buy that metal shed for 50 plus 20 in gas. Actually, I went all the way up to Aalborg, so it ended up being like 35 or 40, and then I had to go back down to Home Depot and go back instead of going through Swanton and then going down. So that's where that I'm left with like $230. That's where that roughly $500 went. Was buying the wagon, buying the gazebo, buying the roof pitch, buying the wood shed, gas to get there and back. And then I bought a coat. It looks like a coat my dad used to wear, but it has the number 11 on the side, on the chest pocket, which is really cool. It's like a denim jacket with like tan leather sleeves. I bought that for $50 plus shipping. That could have come out of Demon Hunter's tithe because it was through Cash App I paid, so I don't think that came from that money. But I also bought Domino's pizzas because I didn't have food stamps, so I'd buy food and I'd buy drinks from the gas station. And the day that I worked by myself, I would buy lunch those days. I'd go buy myself lunch. He saw I was a hard worker. He said I killed it. He said I was doing every time he told me, he said I was doing a really good job. One time he said I was milking it because my arms were tired and I was on a 12-foot ladder. So I was going slowly. He said, "Are you milking it?" And I didn't even know what that meant. I didn't know what milking meant. It means that you're going slowly to get as much money as you can. And I said, "I'm not milking it." And I literally texted him the first day I worked by myself. I said, "I'm not milking. I worked 8 to 6. I think it was 8 to 6:25. No milking." Because I literally just from the days I used to walk 10 miles on a track a day, I'm good at just not stopping. And that when I carried that wagon with 100 pounds through a foot of snow with 106-degree fever and negative 60 wind chill, I carried it from Morristown to Johnson. I can just start and not stop. I just keep going. So I just didn't stop even when I got tired. Eventually at the end, after like 4 or 5 days in a row. No, I think it was like because we didn't take a day off. I don't think we took a day off. We didn't take a day off until Saturday, and I came in on Saturday. So we went from before his birthday, which was the 22nd, to the 29th. So I think I went 8 days straight. 8 or 9 days straight. And at the end of it, I had to like get off the ladder and stretch. Because it was starting to hurt. I wasn't getting enough protein. But I never went less than 7 hours. So I never went less than 8 hours, and I had a 1-hour lunch. I think I went for 9 days straight. I have to check. But it was more than a week straight. Because I think I started on a Monday or Tuesday, and I ended on, I don't know anymore. Started on Monday or Tuesday, and I think I ended on a Tuesday. No. I know I didn't. I know my last day of work was the 28th, and I started before his birthday, which was the 22nd. So it could have been the 21st, and I ended on the 28th. So 21st, 22nd, 23rd, 24th, 25th, 26th, 27th, 28th. So I think I went 8 days straight. There's a chance he does. There's a chance he thinks I'm lying. I don't think that he thinks I'm lying, especially because he can see how relentlessly I pursued the truth. I messaged him nonstop for 6 hours. It wasn't like bam, 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 bam. It was like 20-minute intervals. But in those 20-minute intervals, I was going through my car, searching for all this stuff. I'm not sure if it was 6 hours, to be honest. I can go, but I can find the timestamps. So hopefully you can see that I will just start nonstop. I said shit like, you made it up in your mind that I'm a lying, schemy piece of shit that's going after you, and you can literally see my work on the house when you get there. He saw what 2 days worth of work looks like for me. You can just measure what 2 days worth of work looks like for me. It's the side of the garage. Just literally cut the garage in half for a day of work, measure it, and then put that over what I did, and you'll see that it matches. The top of the porch, the bottom of the porch, the top of the porch with the ladder, and then cleaning up some areas that I had missed, and then working on the front door. It's 4 days. Yeah, I found this for free at someone was moving out of their house or they died or something, and this was left on in this really nice, expensive cul-de-sac. I really like it. And then I got a bunch of free lattice over there and the arbor, so this shape is like all over the place. This cross-hatching shape is all over the area, plus the mosquito net. This cross-hatching is everywhere. I think that's really cool. Plus the screen on the camper. It's really weird how there's barely any mosquitoes biting me. With the flashlight on, my phone is just stuck at 10%. It's not charging past it. It's pumping out only 9 watts of power. That's not good. Usually it pumps out 20 watts. It means that the cord or the... No, I'm wrong. No, I'm not wrong. I think that it's usually like 13 to 14 watts. It's only pumping out 9 right now. This is why I need my computer. Because while I'm here, if I had service in Starlink, I could Google how to put, Vermont.gov, and then you go down Vermont.gov and you find theft of wages form, and then you get everybody involved, and then you have to call the IRS and some job company, and you say, hey, you hired me under the table, and then you disappear for a week, and the client told me he was telling me to keep working, and then I kept working, and then she either lied to him about the hours, or they're both lying about my hours to me, but I have the timestamps, and I have the phone records, in my notes and my YouTube channel to show that when I was at work, plus I have the receipts of me going to get pads. And I have the people there, their testimony that I came in and bought pads from them 3 times in that span of me being by myself. And I have like hours-long live streams of me talking about it, about what happened that day and how long I worked. So we just have all that evidence. I take it to small claims court. He'll most likely show up. And I didn't want this to be the case. I wanted us to build an army in a Christian sanctuary and start saving homeless people, because we were both homeless previously, so we know what it's like. Give everything they need and just build an army of people that the world gave up on for a righteous cause. And then we go out like the airbenders from back in the day in the Sonam saga from the new Airbender movie, where they go out and they just do good things for others and they heal the world just by kindness and grace, where we have our own business and we make money off YouTube content, where we go to people's properties that are like old and can't afford it, and we fix everything up for them to improve their quality of life, and we just have a word of mouth network through the state of people that deserve it, and we just go there and record and live stream ourselves fixing their house and everything for free. I know carpenters that just build decks for people and replace fallen over porches, and they just say we don't even know if they're being paid or not. They just say that they're doing it out of the kindness of their heart, and Either they're making it up or it's the true story that they're doing it out of the kindness of their heart, and they just have like a monologue over a time-lapse video, and they're making hundreds of thousands of dollars off that. I wanted us to do that. I didn't want to stiff you fucking $800, bro. I'm trying to get us to $1 million. I'm literally like a reincarnated Ancient King, and based off your numerology, you are too. That's what I'm trying to do, man. I'm not trying to be stuck in a broken gazebo because boomers keep smashing my shit. I'm literally under a cross, dude. I don't think he showed up because he doesn't. He asked me if I had. He asked me if his tools were still under the gazebo, not under the gazebo, under the porch, under the. I don't know what to call it. It's like this outcrop where it's a little bit of a roof, and then inside is like a storage space, but it's outside, over the overhang. He asked if his tools were still there. I said, I'm not going to steal your tools, and he said, just asking. What the fuck was that? You hear that? It went. Bah! I've never heard that before. It's not a mouse. Is it a mink? Is it a weasel? It went. Bah! Is there a mink? Possibly. If he tries to say anything about you made it up or everything, bro, you have a problem big time. It's even more so than now. If he tries to say anything about you made it up or anything, bro, I'd have a problem big time, even more so than now. He is saying that I made it up. He accused me of lying. And he said that the owner gave him the correct hours, and she's, I think, more than 10 hours off. So something happened. She either forgot a day, and then she forgot that she forgot a day because she's old and lives alone and lives in like a neurotic psychosis, worrying all the time. So she's preoccupied with other shit. She said she was really busy, and then she was just sitting on her couch reading. Or she's been pretty rude to me, so it could be malicious. Or it could be that she doesn't want to pay him. But I politely asked her, you saw me, you saw how I talked to her. Do you think that she had any reason to be nervous by what I said? Go back and watch They Owe Me $1,000, which they don't. They owe me 800, but the grand is clickbait. They might owe me $1,000, I don't know. But I was inspired to say $1,000, but I don't lie about the hours. It was just clickbait for a lot of people to watch. It's more like $765. Unless you count driving time, then it goes to $800. But I don't count driving time because I was trying to do him because I felt bad that he was stressed out about buying me lunch. So your stream is just magic. So your stream just is magic, like it's AI, you working those hours too. Have a good night, man. I don't know what that means. So your stream is just magic? Sometimes it is. Sometimes it is, dude. Sometimes I do life path readings and I don't know the woman, and then I say that I see her at a park with her kids, and she goes, I literally just got back from a park with my kids. Sometimes I see people's cats and I describe the cats to them and they say, that's my 2 dead cats. And then I ask for just a list of names because I saw in a tarot video that they go off a list of names, what they hear. And then the names were the names of the guy's coworkers. But he was like demanding that I prove that I'm a psychic, and Spirit was saying, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. I'm saying, like, your stream didn't happen and the work didn't, but you recorded it. Okay, I get what you're saying. Yeah, like it happened, but they're saying it didn't, but there's undisputable proof that it's happening. Acknowledged, heard, understood. Autistic. Look at that fucking slug climbing all the way up the cross. While we've been talking, this slug has been ascending up the cross. It do be magic sometimes. It do be like the birds are a symphony and they respond to my questions on my right side and left side in acknowledgement and direct response to my questions. And you can clearly hear that one side stops and the other side starts, and then the other side stops and then the other side starts, or whatever, in direct response to my questions. And I don't really get the shooting stars on camera, but I do say when I ask for shooting stars and I get shooting stars, and Demon Hunter can vouch that now she goes out and asks for shooting stars and gets shooting stars. It do be happening, man. Sorry, I word things sideways at times. It's all good. I do too. I understand that sometimes I have to explain things. I'm like that too. You're a gift, and some people can't take time to realize that. I've always been that way for real. They would tell me that they're my imaginary friends, but they look like collapsing stars. How I would describe collapsing stars that are connected to everything, where it's just like a spinning ball of light and darkness together, like, and I can literally see it, and then it flies from tree to tree, and sometimes I think it's a bird, and sometimes I think it's just an orb. When I was like walking through second level of my old 3 levels of Section 8 homes on this hillside, I lived on Section 8, and I was walking by my apartment, and then I saw it following me, and then it said, "Imagine me like your imaginary friend," and then it showed me Wilt from a foster home for imaginary friends. Imagine me like Wilt. I'm like Wilt for you. And I thought that was weird because I didn't really care about Wilt, and it didn't describe itself as Cuckoo. It didn't describe itself as Edgar. It didn't describe itself as Blue. It described itself as Wilt. It told me to think of it as Wilt. I don't really remember Wilt's character too much, but I remember his name is Wilt because I can remember that memory of it saying that it's like Wilt. It's weird how I know the characters of Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. That shit was almost 20 years ago now. And I can, I can remember Cuckoo, Max, Blue, Wilt, but I can only remember that through that specific memory. I think if you had asked me otherwise, I wouldn't be able to remember it. Like I don't remember any. I watched I think the entire series of Zack and Cody. I can only remember a few scenes. I remember Debbie Ryan now. I just remembered that the girl who Debbie Ryan who married the guy from 21 Pilots that played Bailey, I think, on Zack and Cody. She was my childhood crush. She's bad as fuck. She's thick as fuck. She's beautiful. She was my crush. And I couldn't remember her name for like 3 weeks. And I remembered her name because I literally saw the owner's daughter, Debbie, and then I saw my boss's name, Ryan. I got showed both of them at once, and then I remembered Debbie Ryan, and it reminded me of her. Her name's Debbie Ryan. She's bad as hell. That's who I would like if I had if I had like a perfect person. It would be her. That's like my definition of perfect, I think. To my standards. That's who I've been holding out for, is a Debbie Ryan. I was just shown an image of her that she has a movie where she's half naked, and it was like, you should watch that tonight. I'm watching Spider-Man Brand New Day for the 3rd time in a row. I've watched Spider-Man Brand New Day 3 days in a row now. I watched it once, and then I watched it again the next night, and then I watched No Way Home, and then decided to go right into Brand New Day. Because I like to see the artistry of it and the decisions they make and how it changes the narrative. And that, my love for that made me understand God. My love for film, and I wanted to talk about that to the owner who worked in Hollywood for her whole career. And every time she likes to brag about it unwarranted, about how many hours she works. She comes out and talks about how she would work long days, and sort of to acknowledge that she feels for us how long hours we work. Maybe she felt bad. I don't think they're all bad. I'm always giving them the benefit of the doubt, but I'm talking about their actions and I'm trying to figure out what's going on. I don't say that they're bad people. I never call them pieces of crap. Sometimes I say she's a neurotic piece of shit. I don't mean it. I'm mad because she would blow me off like I'm a pest, and she would treat me like I'm garbage. And she literally said, "I'm busy and can't talk right now." And then I saw her enjoying a book. And I was like, that's such disrespectful shit, man. She knows my dream in life was to do film. She doesn't care. She did come out once and say, the key is to find people who are doing what you're doing and are involved in that space. And I wanted to say, you are literally involved in that space, and I've been trying. And I think you were let out here by a demon to say that. I think that an angel made you go, and then the demon is pulling you back. Because you walked out like a robot, walked up to me and said, the best goal for you is to get involved with people who are involved. Right after she said that she's involved in those things. She couldn't make the connection that maybe it's her that should, So, your boss name is right out the right. I mean, I don't care. I don't think that's right. I think I don't know. I don't know I mean, you take the, I don't want to keep shitting on you, but it feels like you're compressing yourself. I think that you have a lot of trauma. When I read it, it feels like you have a foot over your head. You talk about you're being tortured a lot. Is that better? You messaged me and said that you didn't like that I said that you did something crazy, and you said you're being tortured a lot. Is that still happening? When I read your messages, because I'm a psychic, man, I feel like you've got like a huge pressure pushing your crown chakra in. It's like a big dent of darkness. And I feel bad for you, man. But I know that does give you a greater heart space at the same time. It does give you a greater heart space. The only way out that I found to beat that is to go on really long hikes up a tall mountain, or to push yourself on the treadmill on an incline, a really steep incline, and you just push yourself, and every time you feel the thoughts telling you stop, understand that that's your limiting beliefs and your self-attack and your addiction and your demons, and you just keep pushing past that as far as you can go. And with the Sagittarius moon, you have to do that alone by yourself in a secluded space. So I'm trying to get you a treadmill at some point, but we have to fix the garage, and then I think that would really, really change a lot of things in your life. And then I think it would be where you get to that space where if you can hold that space, then the power and authority and money and respect comes to you. I think that your wealthy family doesn't see you. They're expecting you to operate at that level, and that's why your multimillionaire family isn't helping you. Because I mean, is your multimillionaire family transactional the way that these people are? Where their wealth is like an extension of their ego, and it's like power based, and you have to be submissive to them and shit? Or is it just like, hey, I'm trying to do this. You have a ridiculous amount of money. For the kids, he works really hard. Hopefully he proved himself. Or we're trying to start up this thing. It would be really cool. I think they just want to see consistent action and competence. And then, unless you guys fought or something, and it made a division in them seeing you as family. I think they see Brian's post about God, and they probably respect it because they're Christian. Congratulations also on your 2 months of sobriety. But weed is also, it feels like it's a high vibration, but at the end, it steals all your energy. Weed turns your life force energy into gambling. So you spend your life force energy on things, and people don't spend it in the right way, and then it gets spent and depleted, and it doesn't really return to you the same way that not smoking weed, it returns to you. Not smoking weed, you change your resonant energy into what you're looking for, and eventually the reality matches. Smoking weed is like gambling, where you send your energy to something and you hope that it comes, but you don't have the resonant energy in your system to match, so it doesn't really come. You just experience it. So then that's why people like weed, because for like sex and to sit there and spend their spiritual wealth on something. But it's not spiritual wealth. It's building an infinite abundance. It's not spiritual wealth. That's what people have wrong because of the way society is with money, where they think that love is transactional. It's not. It's infinite. But weed makes it finite. Weed makes it transactional. It's not transactional. It's a signal that changes reality around you. And when you smoke weed, it turns that signal into something transactional, where you spend it on an experience. And that's why you get into power games and hood behavior. And being a thug and all that shit, because you take all the love from people and then they feel like they spend it on you. I feel called to go to the gym. I would save you anything you spend on gambling. I would try to hunt on Marketplace for a free treadmill and then build a space. Framing nail gun, 2x4s, plywood, siding, joist hangers, measure the roof, corrugated metal roof, keep the rain out. It doesn't have to be that serious. Mosquito net the top of the roof for airflow. Put it on a gravel base. You could even just disassemble a deck and do what I'm doing, and then run an extension cord to a treadmill, and then run on the treadmill, and then push yourself, and then it will clear up all the clogs and the residual trauma. And then once you get to there, then I think that it comes, and that's what I'm literally going to do right now to show you that I'm not just like I'm not telling you what to do and I'm not living it. I'm saying that that's the best option I think I have for healing trauma and learned helplessness, and I'm going to do that right now. Should I? I'm gonna anyway, even though I'm tired and I want to go to sleep. But I am kind of hungry. I haven't eaten today because I can't afford it. Maybe I have some... Oh, I do have 2 moldy leftover pizzas I'm going to heat up and eat. I don't know if they're moldy, actually. They might not be moldy. I'm just going to eat that two slices of leftover pizza. But I'm gonna work out in a fasted state. I do have the pizza. Look. Let's inspect for mold. I'm not seeing any. So while I'm in a fasted state, I'm going to go work out so that everything that I eat comes from my muscles and my fat. All right. I'm going to go until my phone loses service, and then I have tarot videos on deck to watch while I go to the gym. Bam, 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 bam. And then if I get there and there's somebody there, I'm gonna... I don't know what I'm gonna do. Probably take a shower. Or I'll sit on my phone with the Wi-Fi and sit there for a while, looking up stuff. He thought I was threatening him with the small claims. It was like I sent him a big wall of text, and in that there were 2 things I knew he would get upset about, and he only got upset about those 2 things and didn't see all the other stuff. But he has a lot of shit to read if he feels like it. And he's probably going to periodically check in on me when he's taking his shit at work and see me getting berated by other people taking shit at work, calling me lazy because I don't have a job, and I'll have to be like, well, I did have a job, but then he lied about the hours. Or he doesn't believe me and thinks I'm lying about the hours. But I don't think I'm going to pass a background check. It's a 24-hour gym. Yeah, it's 35 miles away. It costs $12 to go. $6 there, $6 back. Yeah, $4 for 20 miles. $70 miles. 3 miles per gallon. No, 20 miles per gallon average. 20, 40, 60, 7. So $2 is 10 miles. So 2 times 7 is it's $14. It's $14 to go to the gym. And so if I go 5 times in a month, it's gym. And the job that I work is down there. If I don't work this job and I work at the farm and not complain, it's going to be a tough job. I'm going to smell like shit because I'm working around cows all day. August 8th is in 2 days, and it's the changing of the fates portal, which has been prophesized for like 80 years, where like the trajectory of our lives are really impacted by our decisions. So my decision is to continue trying to make improvements and pushing myself to do more than I feel comfortable with, because I see no way out, and just plead my case to people. Reach out to trail guides in Montana and reach out to trail guides in Alaska. Are you Cernanos? That deer didn't give a fuck. It just stood there staring at me until I shined the flash. That was right. Are you Cernanos? Cernanos? Place and looked me right in the eyes until I hit the flash. I said that will be the best thing I could do during the changing of the fates portal, which I was really stressed out about. I just saw aliens project into the back of my mind, and I disassociated for a second, and it didn't look benevolent. It's the full moon. I think that God is greater than we imagine. If you're trying to gamble, it's a conversation you need to have with God. And I think you need to spend a lot of time in meditation to identify what's God and what isn't. And if you're taking omega-3s and multivitamins and you're brushing your teeth and taking showers every day, you're doing a lot better than me, Heather. So I wouldn't really ask for my advice. I'm not functioning very well. I haven't brushed my teeth in months. I have 4 toothbrushes sitting in the passenger seat. I haven't brushed my teeth in months. I only shower because I have a rash if I don't shower. So I don't have a rash, but if I don't shower, I'll get a rash, so I shower. I could easily bring the toothbrush up there, and I don't. I'm not functioning. I'm not somebody that anybody would want to be around. I'm not mean, but I'm not normal. And I'm not myself. So I wouldn't want to be around either because I can't be myself. So it's not even me that they would be around. So I get stuck in isolation all the time. I'm struggling to function. But I'm hoping for the best. I'm going to reach out to the people in Montana that have a music studio and 800 cattle and bison. I'm going to reach out to the people in Alaska that need somebody to help them go on these trails. And I'll say I learn really fast. I'm young. I'm fit. I have no physical things. And I'm just looking to get some money and travel and go experience something I haven't before. And I learn fast. I don't complain. And I do a good job. Whoa, right on my right side. The light went on. Would you look at that? What the fuck are you? A fucking cat right to left? Are you kidding me, bro? I'm gonna name you Mr. Meeseeks. Run, bitch! Run, bitch! That's 2 right to left animals and a right to left light in confirmation that I should do those things. In real time, you're seeing proof that I'm not lying and I have a scientific autistic mind, and that I'm brave and I'm a good person. My voice is high-pitched like this from trauma and from vape. If I went to sleep out in the woods, my testosterone would activate again and I would be out of my comfort zone and my voice would deepen. But I vape excessively and I didn't realize the effect that has on your voice. And I talk for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours, not really putting any care into the focus of it. I operate completely in spirit. I operate completely in spirit, and it took, because I grew up in isolation on a mountain with a room full of Legos. The majority of my childhood, I got a body. I realized that I wasn't in my body and that I lived completely disassociated for my entire childhood when I was 22. Before that, I lived completely floating over my body, and I would will my chakras to open and pilot myself like a Sims character. I've lived completely in spirit since I was born. But then I found out I'm an Aquarius moon, and that's kind of, if you look up what's an Aquarius moon, they live completely detached and they process everything logically. So it lines up. Joe Rogan and Aiden Ross both have this type of tone, and they're both born on the 11th. Alex Jones does have this type of tone, but he rampages. And he constantly talks like this. I could constantly talk like this too, if I devoted my life to it. So he does have the autistic mind like I have, but he forces the voice like this. That's why his voice is like this, but his mind is exactly like I speak. And Joe Rogan and Aiden Ross don't really care, so they talk like this. It's part of being born on the 11th. And I'm an Aquarius moon, so I have it enhanced, where I'm just completely, I'm behind my body, and I'm seeing tons of spiritual communication. And as I pass by these buildings, I'm seeing like how they're all connected to each other. I'm seeing the relationships. I'm seeing the transference of energy between the neighbors. I'm picking up on the vibes and the reputation and the status and the power games. I'm seeing who's holding power over the others. And I'm seeing how the trees are all woven together and how they're breathing. I can see the stars and how they're shining for us and they're trying to communicate to us. I can see how my trauma and limiting beliefs and parasitic relationships and demonic forces, I'm seeing how they're all on me the entire time, and I'm constantly harmonizing that into creating perfect art. In my head, I won't sing it great because I've been talking, but in my head, you're in my bed, waiting for the day I wake up scared. You'll tell me it's okay, I'll take you anywhere. I know you hate me, we made mistakes, but if we can just escape somewhere away from all the pain, maybe the memories we make will fill up all the holes we made. But you're gone and that's okay, I'll fold your blanket up and leave it in my safe place. In my heart, it's torn apart. Sometimes I can piece it back and all broken parts. I know they hate me. They think I'm crazy, but they don't understand just what it takes to be out here every single day, isolated and afraid. The angels keep me sane when I'm alone and I'm in danger. Don't worry about me, girl, it's okay. I'm outside singing in the rain without a safe place. I thought I'd be alive by now and I would save the world somehow and you'd come back and see my name in lights. Life is short and what I found, it all just fizzles out. All that grows only gets old and dies. But I won't come back and tell you all my options fell through so you can say you saw it right. You'd welcome me with open arms, love me and then break my heart, leave me there and run off with my life. We used to be on fire, now we're all just liars, hiding from the truth about ourselves. Like mosquitoes on a mountainside, we all waste the gift of flight, hunting for the love of someone else. I can't see well, I can't breathe, I don't sleep well without you here with me. The suit said I would be a millionaire, live my whole life in the air, profit off the children's hearts and minds. But when they sat me in that room, my hero sang a different tune, all we felt in their eyes. So you can keep your pretty lies, tears that look like crocodiles, sell it to somebody else. But maybe love you, leave you, let you rot now. Well, I can't see well. Well, I can't. My service is gonna end. I'm just gonna keep singing until it cuts out, and then I'm gonna end the live stream. Because I feel like it, and this is what I would do. It was off. The suit said I would be a millionaire, live my whole life in the air, profit off the children's hearts and minds. But when they sat me in the room, my hero said, so you can keep your pretty lies, tears that look like I see you, and do what you do to me. Love you, leave you, let you rot now. Well, I can't see well, I can't breathe, I don't sleep well without you here with me. I love you, I hate you, I miss you. You missed me, I bug you, you love it, you need me. I thought I'd be the king by now and save the world. It's funny how I wound up in the woods all by myself. The friends I fought to save only care about reputation. Now they're stuck screaming in the sickest show and tell. It turns out they all suck, and now I'm glad that you're all stuck. Where were you when I was crying out for help? You wrote me off as nothing, but now that I get money, suddenly you care about my mental health. Don't tell me after everything I've been through, the hells that I've been sent to, that I should just give up and get a life. The world put me through so much that I can barely function. It takes everything to just get up and try. Fuck it, I'll wear that blue collar and waste my life for dollars. Maybe find love when I'm 45. Sit there in a shitty house, listen to you bitch about all the things you're too afraid to try. Maybe then I'll feel a spark, finally open my heart up and take off in the woods again. We were fearless, running wild, singing songs around the fire. Now you're living in whatever lie that helps. Like mosquitoes in the cities, we need blood, but it ain't pretty. Chasing a light that kills ourselves. I wrote that this year. I don't think I wrote a single song other than that this year that I liked. I wrote one. I know that you don't care, and life ain't fair, but I can't sleep unless I pray I freeze to death. I wrote other stuff too. I just can't remember it right now. Oh wait. When I've gone crazy, you lifted me up in your father's truck and drove demons attacking me, and then I would black out, and then I would wake up and I would cut myself down my whole arm, bled out in a bathtub, or I'd find myself in a field outside the shelter crying in the rain, and my girlfriend was trying to guide me back up into the shelter. And I don't know what happened, but I had driven my car 90 miles an hour into a pole, and I hit the steering wheel, and the airbag didn't go off. So I was just kind of broken for a long time. So I didn't care that she was kind of broken for a long time. So I didn't care that she was seeing other people, but I cared that she would put me in the car like a dog, and she would drive me to their house, and she would leave me in the car, put her at her house, and she would leave me in the car, put her